that this is nothing but the Chinese trying to pass a message to the Israelis. We have the warmest hospitality in the world. Come to our homes, come eat our food, enjoy our culture, see the sights. Chinese will tell you. And one day, when you're going out with your family, somebody will come and stab you. The stabbing of 4 Americans in China by a Chinese man is not racism. But to question a Chinese in America is racism. Jilin friends, I'm Major Gaurav Arya and you're watching the Chanakya Dialogues English. Like this video, subscribe to our channel and don't forget to press the bell icon. There have been a series of stabbings in China and today I'm going to discuss that. Why are these stabbings happening? Who is probably doing them? Who are the targets? And what does China hope to achieve? Because these are not happening without the blessings of the Communist Party of China. Now let me read out the news first and then we'll discuss and debate. 4 US college tutors suffered injuries after they were brutally assaulted in China's public park. The Iowa Cornell College instructors were taken to hospital after a serious incident in the northern province of Jilin. The degree of their injuries or whether the attack was premeditated or random remains unknown. And, they've been visiting a local temple and they were attacked by a man with a knife. So this is the gist of what happened. And National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said he was deeply concerned and our team has been in touch with these Americans and our PRC counterparts to ensure that they get the best of medical treatment and the law enforcement agencies follow through with the investigations, blah, blah, blah. Before I carry forward my conversation with you and tell you what's actually happening, in October 2023, in China, a 50-year-old Israeli embassy worker was stabbed outside a supermarket by a 53-year-old foreign man. The victim, a family member of an Israeli diplomat, the victim was a family member of an Israeli diplomat. No reason was given why he was stabbed, and suddenly the inquiry did not reach any conclusion. Till today, we don't know who did it, why they did it. Just some random foreign man stabbed an Israeli diplomat. Right? And at that point in time, on Chinese social media, there was hardcore anti-Semitism, which was being deliberately trended by the Chinese Communist Party. And the Chinese don't know the first thing about Semitism because they haven't met too many Jews in the past. But this is acquired hate, if I may use that word, and they started trending this on social media. Somebody picked up a knife, somebody stabbed that Jewish gentleman from Israel. Now, these Americans have been stabbed. 4 of them, they went to visit a temple in Jilin and they were stabbed by a random guy. Now, the police is not saying how seriously these people are injured. The police is not saying who stabbed them. The police is not saying what the motives are. The police, prima facie, there are some things that come to light whenever there is an incident, okay? You can say, okay, this man is a male, he's a Chinese citizen, he stabbed them using a sword or a knife, and the police is interrogating, and this is the police captain's name, and he's being held here. So, in all countries, they give some sort of information to the public. Because countries function on transparency, most of them anyway. Unlike China, which functions on a very thick layer of it's like a nation that is absolutely opaque, right? And why is China doing that? When the Israeli diplomat was stabbed last year, even that time I had said in one of the videos, I don't remember what exactly I said because I record, I think 4 videos every day. But you see, I had said that very categorically, that this is nothing but the Chinese trying to pass a message to the Israelis. You see, and suddenly anti-Semitism. I'm not saying anti-Israeli. Anti-Israeli is one thing. You can have a political difference of opinion with Israel. That is one thing, right? That you can. You may not like Israel's policies and you say, okay, I don't like Israel's policies and I condemn Israel's. That is one part of it. They didn't do that. This was targeted at the Jewish faith. Chinese social media started going after Jews across the world. And there are Jews in Africa, there are Jews in the Middle East, there are Jews in Australia, there are Jews in Canada, there are Jews in the US, there are Jews all over Europe. And it did not matter. just because Israel and the Hamas are in a state of war, they decided to go after all the Jews across the world. And now these 4 Americans have been stabbed, ladies and gentlemen. And this is nothing but China trying to put pressure on the United States of America. There are more than 250 or 230,000 odd students currently studying in the US, Chinese students. 230, 250,000 Chinese students. Whereas American students studying in China are less than 1,000. Let's say 930, 950. So there is a huge disparity in the exchange of students. And I don't know what has gotten into these American students. Why in God's name would they come to a country like China? But apparently they did, okay, to study. And that's okay. But the fact of the matter is, I don't think that these American students are safe. I don't think they're safe. What they have done is that they have taken a leaf out of the Canadian playbook. You remember, Canada allowed Gurpatwant Singh Pannu to come to Canada, and standing on Canadian soil, Gurpatwant Singh Pannu said that Hindus are not welcome in Canada and please leave Canada. You remember that statement? But he said it overtly because he's a Khalistani and he does not have much sense and he doesn't know what to say and what not to say, right? Essentially, Khalistanis are criminals and drug addicts and pickpockets and worse. But ladies and gentlemen, the Chinese are smarter. Welcome to China. Have a lovely stay in China. Have a great stay in China, right? We have the warmest hospitality in the world. Come to our homes, come eat our food, enjoy our culture, see the sights. The Chinese will tell you all of this. And one day, when you're going out with your family, somebody will come and stab you. That's it. Attacking foreigners in China is about to go up, ladies and gentlemen. This entire thing, attacking of foreigners, will go up, and this will keep on going up in China. This is not going to stop because China will use this as a geopolitical tool. Now, Jake Sullivan is involved suddenly. So you've managed to rattle senior government figures in the United States of America. And that's it. So don't kill the Americans, because when you kill them, then it goes into another spiral. So don't kill them. Don't end somebody's life. But harm them so there is fear. Now, these people got stabbed, they will go back. They'll go back, and China would have sent a message. After 6 months, they'll get hold of one of those 950 American students. Somebody else will get hit or beaten up in the marketplace. And slowly, China will keep on communicating this message to the United States. You know, this is psychological, a psychological play on the mind, right? And America can't do anything in response. American government, of course, the American government cannot sanction a hit on Chinese students because democratic governments don't function that way. And if some random American, not connected to the government at all, you know, he hits a Chinese student in America, and there are about 250,000 of them, it will immediately be called racism. Immediately. There are Chinese expats there who will start crying, going to the studios that we are Chinese and we have been insulted and this is a case of racism, etc., etc. But the stabbing of 4 Americans in China by a Chinese man is not racism. But to question a Chinese in America is racism. To call the COVID virus the Chinese virus is racism. If you question a Chinese man in America, even though he has been caught spying for the People's Republic of China and Chinese state security agencies, it's racism. Ladies and gentlemen, this is something that China has been doing for a very, very long time, using your systems against you. They will use your systems against you. So, what does this tell you, this entire stabbing incident? They'll get somebody to stab 4 Americans. A message is passed to the American government. At the highest echelons, the American government is involved. So, the Americans inside China are scared. At the same time, China knows that our own people inside the United States of America are absolutely safe. They know that our people are safe because the American law protects those people. The American law, the American state, and the American Constitution will protect those Chinese students. China knows that. Therefore, what China does is use your systems against you. You know, I was watching a video a long time back. There is this journalist, I forget his name, Jonathan something, and he said in this video that The Chinese Communist Party will use your systems against you. So what is most controversial in the United States of America? What is most controversial? It is race. Race is the most controversial topic in the US of A. But if you arrest a Chinese because he's been spying on the US, suddenly all the Chinese will get together and say this is racism, this is racism. And the United States of America will go on the back foot. Right? And this is exactly what has happened in China. If nobody reacts to what China did, it's all fine. China will do it again. Till the time somebody in the US reacts. And when they react, the Chinese will say, this is a case of racism. So ladies and gentlemen, this is actually the classical three warfare doctrine: psychological warfare, legal warfare, and media warfare. Now, ladies and gentlemen, for the question and answers, and we have Anindya Haldar. Hello, Major sir, hope you're well. Yes, Anindya ji, I'm well. What do you think will happen to those people who are foreigners, for example, from India, who don't belong to this bipolar society where we see the rise of far right and Islamists supported? You see, what will happen is that when the far right comes to power, then everybody suffers. I'm talking about Europe, because you see what has happened is that because of the stupidity of this radical Islamists, now they have awakened the devil. Who am I calling the devil? Fascist forces in Europe. And fascism is essentially a European construct. They have awakened these far right is all right. That is not my problem. You can be left, you can be right, you can be a centrist, that's okay. I'm talking about typically fascist forces in Europe. They have also been awakened. And they tend to look at all foreigners as the enemy. They are essentially xenophobic. Now they look at foreigners as the enemy, and then there is nothing you can do. I mean, Indians will also suffer. Indians who are highly qualified, they're scientists, right? They're doctors, they're engineers. They haven't come there seeking asylum, lying about. I'm not talking about Khalistanis, I'm talking about everyday Indians. Some of the most highly competent people in Europe. They will suffer because the fascists will look at them as outsiders who have come to dirty our country. And who's guilty? Both the fascists and the radical Islamists. Who will suffer? The innocent will suffer. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching this video. We have only one question for today. If you like this video, press the like button, subscribe to our channel, don't forget to press the bell icon. Jai Hind, Vande Mataram, Bharat Mata Ki Jai.